Call the meeting to order. The first thing we need to do is approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Jill and Ryan Schreiber. Moved and second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Excellent. All right, next I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Ryan, Ruda, and Curtis. Moved and second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, recognitions.
Yeah, a couple we want to make tonight. We really have high quality people. Randy Tyne, Amy Albright, will give their last name tonight, and Jackie Stapp represented the district at the MTSS symposium, almost about a month ago. I don't know when it was. They just went to tell the story of what we're doing. Whole bunch of people in attendance, and out of the blue, I started getting texts from people and emails who I'd worked with in the past. Just absolutely singing their praises, so we've had a lot of good follow-up from people just wanting to, see what we're doing and how we're doing it with the MTSS stuff in particular. So ladies, nice job, nicely done, represented well, and obviously you didn't embarrass me, so that's always the key. Second, I do want to also mention Jackie is a Crystal Apple finalist. I don't know anything beyond that besides what dates or anything, but a couple years back, Jen Barrett won that. It's a pretty cool thing, so it's nice that we have a finalist going for that as well. So that's it, Mr. June.
All right, thank you. All right, financial reports, Mike.
Okay, on page 2 of the warrants, kind of in the middle, High Plains Co-op, our second quarter payment to them, $99,721.75. And down at the bottom of page 2, Lee Construction, 3 different payments, total of $339,867.70 to pay off the concession stand project. And then on page 3, Midwest Energy, another part of the concession stand was running a new gas line, $7,143. So on page 5, total warrants for the month, $660,982.26. And then page 6, our cash balances are doing fine. Our balances are doing fine on page 7. And then back behind that's the transfers in the high school, middle school reports. So if you have any questions.
If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financials at $660,982.26.
So moved.
Second.
Ryan, Ruda, and Jill. Moved and seconded to approve the financials. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No public patrons, so administrative reports, Dr. Myers.
Sure, I've got a couple, 5 things to talk to you about. We've reimagined our site council meetings this year. And so we brought everybody together into one. The district site council summit meeting took place a couple weeks back. And we had 30 people show up. And it's really good, right across the way. About an hour and a half, talking about the pre-K-12 initiatives we have taking place and where we're headed next, that kind of work. Good substantive meeting. The feedback from the people who attended it said they really liked it because it was one-stop shopping, and they could just get with each one of the principals as need be following the opening. The next meeting is November 20th, and we're moving them around the district just so people can see different parts of the building, or I'm sorry, of the district. So November 20th at the middle school library. And I'll put word out about that. Anybody in the room or anybody listening, please feel welcome to come here. Secondly, we're starting up the strategic planning work for the year, like I've talked about before. We've got all sorts of ideas, lots of good plans taking place, but there's nothing codified, nothing on a piece of paper. And the reason to have something written down is it needs to survive the current leadership. And so over time, this year, I met with Steve Carlin, former superintendent at Garden City. He works for KASB now, part-time. And we had a meeting, and you have before you, board members, a tentative timeline, if you will, of the work itself. We're looking to get things launched December 2nd. We're going to invite like 80 different people, as many people as we can think of, because we want a committee of about 35 to 60 is what we want. And so if we put out 80 invitations, we're not going to get 80 back, but hopefully we'll get 35 to 60 people. So then we'll put out a survey that takes place in early December to get feedback from the community on whatnot. Then you just go down the list, meeting in January with the community members and the board. The board has a choice to make. You don't have to make this choice tonight. There's no one way of doing this. Some districts have 0 board members on this kind of thing. They want it brought to them. Others have representatives, 3 or fewer, because that way it's not a board meeting. Others say, no, the entire board needs to be involved. It'll be, it's dealer's choice. You'll have the opportunity to say, let's go do it this way. This is how Holcomb wants to do it. So anyway, there's a meeting in January 23rd, community and the board, depending on how we decide to configure that. Another meeting, February 3rd. It moves on fairly quickly once we get up and rolling. Then leads into February 24th, where the board only receives everything, reviews it all. And then the idea is at the March board meeting, which is March 10, the board has the final say on it. But by that time, we've had several conversations with stakeholders. So we're moving down the path of building a strategic plan that will survive the current leadership. Longhorn Festival took place, our 6th one we had, and it's another big success. Give kudos to Tyler. Tyler's been, since finishing his doctorate, looking at more district level type things, and he ran it for us. When Amy said to me, I need to put tape on my mouth during one of our meetings because I couldn't shut up, I finally did, and Tyler took care of it. He did a nice job of organizing the entire thing. Hundreds of people were there. We're getting better and better at what we do, and I'm assuming we'll do it again next year. Star recognition, something the KSD sends out, I don't really value it at all, but we received 2. Post-secondary effectiveness, which means a certain percentage of our kids, after 2 years after they've left high school, have either earned a certificate, a college degree, or are still in college. Okay, and then we got the Commissioner's Award because we were 0.4 over what they anticipated. And the final thing to mention to you, tomorrow, board, it is Soup with a Soup, 11:30. If you make it, come on in. Potato soup is ready to roll. So 11:30 in this room.
You come help me buck some hay tomorrow?
Sure. I'll be a gentleman farmer with you.
Okay, I'll give you a hay hook. All right, thank you. All right, Garrett is out. Do you have anything for him or just?
Not particularly. As the agenda goes, I'll mention things.
Okay. Transportation, Sam.
Nothing other than what's on my report. Just gonna point out tomorrow's walk to school day, and it's supposed to be around 45 degrees, so that'll be interesting.
Should wait till the next one. It's supposed to be 31.
Now, that's good enough. It's been a lot worse, so we're gonna be thankful for tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Sam. All right, food services, Monica.
Nothing further.
Okay.
I do want to mention, you're in line to get a second beef?
Yes.
Was in your report?
Yes.
Is-
It's been a week or 2.
Great.
From Arteries again.
And the feedback on that has been very positive.
Yeah.
So, good.
Thanks, Monica. All right, technology. All right, we'll move to principals, Mrs. Albright.
As Sam mentioned, we are having walk to school day tomorrow. We will meet at the Sunnyberg Park by the swimming pool. Middle school and elementary students will be invited to walk. There will be adults from the schools there to help walk them. We also have Officer Shelton who will be leading us, and it's always a big event that the kids enjoy doing, but yes, please bundle up because it's going to be a little chilly. So, another event that we have coming up is our literacy night on October 30th. And we will be having the high school students, some of the high school students join us as well for their treat street event that they typically did in the past. They're going to kind of combine forces with us and so on the 30th, and so they'll be setting up in the Wiley Gym for that as well. So we invite all the families to come out for that from 6 to 7 on October 30th. That day will also be our book fair, and it's open from 8 in the morning until 8 p.m. that night. And since Dr. Myers has already mentioned it, Jackie Stapp is a Crystal Apple finalist. She's been getting observed this last week, so hopefully they'll be making some decisions soon and we'll hear some great news. So she's amazing and we're lucky to have her.
All right, thanks, Amy. All right, Mrs. Tyring.
Tomorrow we will have KU, well, I'm not sure how many people will be here, but KU, woo. a couple of people from KU Aerospace visit. They will be doing activities with our 4th and 5th grade students. And I thought they were supposed to be here today, so we were all prepared. Everybody had their schedules done for today, and they were in Garden today. So, scheduling mix-up, but the teachers were awesome, and they filled in, and we will have them visit tomorrow. So we will get to shoot off. I don't know if they're shooting them off. They say blowing rockets, and it was happening inside, so we'll see what that means. And then also, we'll be doing some things with drones. So, pretty excited about that. I think it will be great. It's free to us, and thankful to Garden City for reaching out to see if we wanted to do that as well. So, we're excited about that. Next week, we have Linda Krabs that works with iReady. She was one of our professional learning leaders. I think at the beginning of the school year, and so she is going to come back and walk through with Amy and I. We are going to calibrate, look at some different things with our new iReady curriculum, and we got to choose what we wanted to look for and what we wanted to give feedback on, and then also see what things we might need more professional learning on to help guide us and use that resource the best that we can. So we are excited for that. Amy and I have been preparing, and we'll try to get into most classrooms with her on that day. So, very exciting. And is there anything else I'm forgetting? That's basically it. But
Thanks, Randy. All right, Dr. Helton.
Just a reminder to families listening, we have parent-teacher conferences this Wednesday and Thursday. For the middle school, they are come and go. All staff will be in the gym. We'll be there 4 to 8 p.m. Wednesday night, and then 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thursday night. There will also be a Fast Bridge and IPS table set up at conferences, so if parents want to see how students scored on their screeners in math and reading, as well as look at some of their career interest inventories they've already done this year, those will be available. And on IPS also, we're looking at launching the financial literacy aspect of our homerooms in November. This last Friday at our in-service, we met as a staff, tried to develop a baseline of where to start with 6th, 7th, and 8th grade on money. Probably just starting simply, what is money in 6th grade, and working our way up from there. But that was a good conversation, so we're looking to hopefully start financial literacy by November. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Johnson.
Excuse me. Our student leadership teams met this last Wednesday. This is the kind of initiative we're rolling out, try to work on some of our leadership. Our students did a really good job. We went around and watched our seniors have to lead small groups, and those small groups are made up of freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. So it's fun to see our seniors get put into roles where they're leading groups, and then we calibrated back with them. Joe Coles came back this last Wednesday, so it's been 2 times before that we had the student leadership. He came back and we worked with them, and we asked him questions like, how tough was it to try to lead small groups? What is the things that we need to practice on? And they kept saying, trying to keep students engaged, trying to keep the kids engaged. They weren't paying attention when we were talking to them, and stuff like that. So it was really good to put them in a situation where they had to get experience and then bring somebody back in and coach them up. And so we have some strategies to keep working on that. And that's going to be one of our big focuses we move through the next several years, is just how is it that we develop leaders within our school and lead those small groups. So it was really good for them to kind of see that. And you'll see some of these student leaders here tonight presenting some of that stuff. So,
Thank you, Gary. All right, let's move to unfinished business and new teacher introduction.
That's right, we're finishing up from last month. Not everyone was able to make it to the board meeting to be introduced to you, so we're gonna finish that up tonight. Let's start with Tyler. If you'd start, please.
Switched it up on us.
Yes, I did. You never know.
Called an audible. I know what an audible is, Jerry. Two staff members from the middle school to introduce you to. First is Roxanne Durbo. She's our 6th grade science teacher. And I want to commend what a positive spirit she's been. It's been fun learning from her experiences and vice versa. The kids have really warmed up to her. She's been a true asset to our building to start the year. And Mr. Brett Novak, he is teaching middle school art. Seeing great things in his classroom. You can tell his enthusiasm and passion for art. It's going to be a benefit to our kids over the years, I no doubt of that. He's got some cool ideas for sprucing up our commons area. He's got a mural panel idea that he's kind of described to me that we'll be working on to decorate our building a little, make it a little more warm as you walk in. I'm excited for that. In his Unhooked class, I think they do 2K sports, so the kids are really into that and having fun with that. So both have been an awesome addition to our building. I'm glad to have them.
And Randy.
Okay, we will start with, let's start with Blake. We have Mr. Blake Freeland. He has joined our 5th grade team and is teaching ELA and social studies. We are glad to have Blake here from Garden City, that they are members of the community, so we're happy to have him and his kids in the district. He mainly taught social studies, correct? And science. That is his passion, so he does get to teach social studies, but also is taking on our English, which does have a lot of social studies topics in it, which is really nice. So very happy to have that male influence on our 5th grade team, and so we've enjoyed that in our building. We also have Miss Morford, Miss Shaylee Morford. She has joined our 3rd grade team as a 3rd grade teacher, and has also joined, remind me what school that you're going to? Wichita State, and is getting her degree to be a teacher. So she has done a great job coming in and getting started. She has great enthusiasm in the classroom, and we are happy to have her as part of our staff as well. We have 3 student teachers this year, so really excited about that. One of them was introduced last board meeting, and she is now at the elementary school working with Mrs. Tidwell. And then we have Raylyn Swank that is working with Mrs. Shelton, and she is doing a great job. I believe, have you taken over 100% yet? Okay, so she has fully taken over the classroom, and she will get to do that for a little while, and then slowly she will start giving things back to Mrs. Shelton as she nears the end of her student teaching. So she's been doing full days since the beginning of school, and she will be done in December. And I have talked with Mrs. Shelton, and we are really, really working on her to see if we can get her to change locations because she currently lives in Oklahoma, is that correct? But is just here to do her student teaching, and then they will go back. So we'll see if we can change her mind on that. And then we had one that was unable to be here, Miss Hannah Yost. She is student teaching with us this year too, and she has an evening job. So she does her student teaching in the morning with Mrs. Richmeyer. So is working in math and science right now, and she just does a half day, and then she works in the afternoons and evenings. And then after Christmas, she will be working in our math and science. No, she's already in math and science. So ELA and social studies. So then she will be a full year student teacher because she only does half days. So she will be with us for the entire year. So she was unable to be here, but she is also doing a great job, and we're happy to have her.
All right, on to the next one. Okay, next is student organizations presentation.
It's always fun when we bring a group of students in to present to the board about various things that are going on. So this year it's a little bit more structured. I set up a schedule, and Jerry said, I'll do the first one. And so he threw it to his faculty, and 2 different organizations said, sure, love to do that. So Jerry, if you would Introduce the speakers, please.
So we have our K Club, and then we also have our JAG. We'll have K Club come up first. This is Riley Holloway and Kona Urbo. Kona is our sponsor and Riley is our president, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about what K Club is.
Thank you. KAY stands for Kansas Association for Youth. It's been around since 1946, so maybe some of you were actually members of it back when you were in high school. We do service projects for 4 different areas: for our school, our community, our nation, and our world. And Riley's going to tell you about some of those projects that we have done. Now, as far as community, sometimes we include ourselves with Garden City because, for example, if like last Thanksgiving we made placemats for a rest home. Well, we don't have a rest home here in Holcomb, so we had to take those over to Garden City. But that's okay. We enjoy doing that. And as we do our service projects, the students learn leadership skills. And we are a legit Kansas State High School Activities Association club. At the end of the year, I am required to report back to them the service projects that we have done, and I send that report to Dr. Myers and also to Mr. Johnson. And depending on the participation we have from our members year to year, we do get certain colored bars to put on our K plaque, and I don't know if you've ever seen that, so I'm going to pass that around because it's not every day I get to show off our K Club plaque. And I'm going to have Riley, she's our club president, so she's going to tell you things that we've done while I hand out some more information.
Good afternoon. As Mr. Johnson and Ms. Erba said, I'm Riley Holloway. I am a junior and I'm the 2024-2025 K Club president. This year in total, we have 22 members and 5 officers. Matea Kennis is our vice president, our vice president. Lindsay Eisenbeis is our secretary. Crystal Lares is our treasurer, and Emma Redden is our Stuco rep. Last year was my first year as a K member, and I'm glad that I joined. We have done lots of things, not only for our community, but for our high school and elementary school too. Last year, we got the opportunity to do Treat Street. Due to events that happened before this, it was good to see the kids so happy. We also go to the elementary schools during Christmas time and hand out candy canes to the littles. We plan on doing this again this year too. One of the big things that our high school does that our K Club does for our high school is our K Closet. This is a closet we have in our library that we have formal attire in for anybody that needs a dress or a suit for a formal event that the school is holding. In total, we have 2 suits and 34 dresses, and we hope to get more soon. Towards the end of the year last year, we did a spa day for the little girls. We charged $10 for the parents to drop their kids off while we did their hair, their nails, had snacks with them, and colored with them. Some of the projects we did last year was we paid for gift cards to the high school students from our Longhorn Cafe. Last year, the overall theme was Don't Drive Distracted. We did a bake sale, and the money earned is going to get flower beds in honor of Cassie. We will do this bake sale again, and the money raised will go to send kids to KLC. This year, the theme is Serve Those Who Serve Us. This year, we decided as a club to make goodie baskets for our hospice workers. In September last year, we did affirmation cards for Suicide Awareness Month. This year, we went to Compass Behavioral Health and got suicide awareness cards and put them in the windshields of the cars at a home football game. This year, I was lucky enough to go to KLC, thanks to our K Club. And without a doubt, I can say that it was an amazing and rewarding experience. At camp, I was able to make amazing friends and learn the importance of being an amazing leader. This year, we will do fundraisers to hopefully bring more people to camp. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be our K Club president, and I can't wait to see what this year brings us. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful night.
All right, so our next club activity that wanted to come up is our JAG program. Matea Kinnis and Ashley Bradley are here, along with sponsor Melinda Gershberger.
Hello and good evening. I'm Matea Kinnis and I'm the Vice President for our Holcomb JAG program. The other officer we have here is Ashlyn Bradley, representing our region as a JAG Regional Secretary. Our President, Shaylin Sizemore, couldn't be here to speak tonight, but I know she would agree with what I have to say about this amazing program. For those of you who don't know what JAG-K stands for, it is Jobs for America's Graduates, Kansas. Not all of our states have JAG, and I feel so blessed that our state and this school district gives us the opportunity that not everyone has. What JAG means to me is probably more than anything that I can express. Now, what I can express, on the other hand, is what JAG has done for me. It has brought me out of my comfort zone more than I could imagine and has provided me with so many opportunities to expand my horizons. It has given me a new outlook on life and prepared me for not just my future, but for now. I have met new people, accomplished amazing things, and built stronger relationships. Recently, as I was talking to a teammate, she told me that she had always wanted to try JAG, but actually wasn't allowed to. I was shocked and asked her why in the world would she not be allowed to take this class, and she then told me that her dad just thinks that it's a stupid and useless class to take. I wish this person knew how far from the truth he was. I wish this person knew all the reasons for how JAG has not just impacted my life, but the lives around me. My classmates, my school, my community, and the surrounding communities as well. Maybe then he wouldn't think it's so useless knowing the change that was made in even just one individual. Maybe he wouldn't think it's so stupid anymore if he got to see the stress that eases out of a mother after she picks up a box from our Horns for Hope food pantry. The tension that leaves her face knowing her family will eat good that night and in the days following. Her relief in knowing that we will host future food pantries regularly, and that she might not be able to count on this economy, but she can certainly count on Holcomb JAG. I wish he could see the smile on the woman's face who I read to in the hospital for our project-based learning community service project this last Christmas time. If only he heard her pouring her heart out to me, telling me how sad she was, but we blessed her day, and she was so happy to get to talk to us, how she asked us to pray with her, and told me I was her blessing as I walked out. Or maybe if he saw the joy it brought earlier in the morning when my fellow JAG members visited the residents at the ranch house. What simply playing cards with them did for their day and towards making their Christmas time a little less lonely. Or maybe if he had seen how Ashlyn Bradley, Gregory Martinez, and I were able to make this beautiful hospital experience into a presentation that took us to nationals. We got to travel to Missouri to speak about our experience nationally and ended up placing 4th place. I wish you could see all the job opportunities that arise from Ms. Gershberger bringing in people to talk to us in class, or when we travel to things such as competitions and see so many diverse companies. Does he know that I was offered a job along with Greg while we were competing at state that absolutely piqued my interest? I was overjoyed to be considered for this job, and though it didn't work out at the time because I couldn't take on anything else, it opened a door to a possibility I had never heard of before, nor would have probably considered if it were offered to me in any other environment. Though I wish this person could have seen all these things, the opportunities, the relationships, he can see what we will do. All of you, this whole community, the surrounding communities, can see what we're doing and say, wow, look how Holcomb JAG is making a difference. So after all this, I wonder how useless JAG would seem to him now. Would it seem so stupid making a difference, even if the difference is small? Maybe when he sees his daughter's care package, which is our current project right now, making a care package for each individual student in the high school, he will see the meaning and intention behind who we are. Then, as we expand to the other schools, will he finally decided to change to fix his mindset. That is my hope for everyone, no matter their opinion or knowledge on JAG, is that they will see our program's intentions and the beauty behind what we do. That even if they decide JAG isn't a fit for their lives or for their families' lives, they see what we're doing and want to do good for others too. Though I'm not sure what different people think about JAG, I know what I do. I'm glad I don't have to wonder. I've seen what JAG has done for people. It is one of the most useful and beneficial things that I've ever gotten an opportunity to be a part of. Thank you for your time. And then we have a little care package for everyone that wants that. Oh, sorry.
Well, thank you both student organizations for being here and just sharing with us some of your activities and what you're doing. Really do appreciate it. You are more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. Thank you so much. But we understand if you have other things to do. There are cookies over here, though, if you'd like to take one or two, or however many. And teachers, thank you for coming as well.
Thank you. All right, let's move to message board project update.
All righty. With the federal holiday delay today, didn't get the information I was hoping to have for you by tonight, meaning the zoning board approval. Just don't have it. We're in contact with, I can't remember the guy's name, but just a matter of getting them to get it for us. Desiree is actually putting together the actual construction drawings for the board itself, so we have to make sure that it's structurally sound and everything. The minute we have the approval, I don't want to throw buy the board until the approval's sanctified, if you will. So the minute we get that, then we'll make the purchase of the board itself, okay? We already have the space located. The site is marked for the installation, and we're working with the electrician to build plans to get the electrical from the boiler room over here at Holcomb Elementary. So we're moving down the path, just not quite there yet. But pretty soon we should get it, well, we're on the mercy of the zoning board, but it should be taken care of fairly quickly, and then, well, we hope, and then we'll be able to move from there. So it's in process.
All right. Let's move to track discussion.
Yeah, I'm not asking for a motion tonight by any means, but I do want to somewhat get your desires on this. Since I've been here, and probably since before I got here, we've been patching the track. And walked it about a month ago. Walked it with Garrett, and I don't know, probably 15 different spots around the track itself, where there are 3 to 4 inch wide patches which run the length of the track, or the width of the track rather. It has not seized yet, but I think that's just a matter of time, because winter does happen, water gets down inside there, it will ice up. Eventually, I can see that happening. So, we've talked to different track people in the past, and had another one come out, one we worked with a couple years back, actually, came out and took a look at it. Said, yeah, you could maybe, patch it one more year, but it's time to be fixed. This needs to be done. Not thrilled with the idea because it's north of $1 million to do this. I think if the board ultimately says, hey, let's do this, it's a safety thing, which it is. And I hate throwing good money after bad, and that's what's happening every time we repair this thing. Not knowing the future of what's going to happen with the football field, if there is the least opportunity or possibility that the field could be turfed down the road, and that's not a recommendation from me right now, it only makes sense to do the turf curb while doing the track. Otherwise, if down the road the idea is to put in turf, we're gonna have to tear the track out to put that back in. So that doesn't make sense. So haven't gone down the path far enough to know about timing, any of that stuff. I was talking to Mike about it, the finance side of this. I would prefer it be next fiscal year, meaning start, if we take on the project, July 1, I'd prefer that, but I don't know how long it takes to, tear it. Because then we're talking about a total redo of the track, taking it all out, going down past the concrete to the dirt, because that's where the problem is. And we've got to get it all built back up. So it's not just an overlay. So it'll take a while. So the earliest we could take this on to be like the last day we have track practice. So sometime in May. If it could be done without impeding football, I would love to get it to July. If we decide to take this the next fiscal year. I just don't know how long it takes to build an entire new track.
Just play games at the JUCO.
No, we could do that. We could play games at the JUCO. We'll try to figure that out. Imagine we know somebody over there.
No guy.
So, Cape Who is playing football this year Arrowhead and
In the soccer
in the
field.
soccer field, you know.
Nobody goes, but. they
No,
should
but
play.
it's because they're 1-5. They didn't lose this last weekend at least, so they didn't play.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
They lost.
So it's not, Ryan, the point is, it's not unheard of to play someplace else.
No, but having walked the track and looked at it in its current condition, even this last week, it's past the point of repair, it's past the point of resurfacing, doing anything. It's in desperate need of attention.
Yeah, we've been patching it since I was first on the board, so.
Yeah.
I don't know, we've probably patched it 3 or 4 times since I've been on the board.
Easily. We've patched it twice on my time.
Does that include all the field event stuff too?
No.
Just the track?
Yeah, just the track at this point. Now, and we would go back into that and look at all those as well. Because, if you're gonna do it.
Maybe for that price, they'd throw that stuff in for free.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Jeez.
Imagine if I just asked. And, if the decision is we're going down this path, I will engage with multiple companies, try to get it down to apples to apples. It's just not gonna be, you're the one. Majority of these companies go through purchasing co-ops, so there's no bidding taking place, so that's one little bureaucratic thing we don't have to worry about. But the timing of it is because once again, we learned with the barn, the auditor doesn't like us to pay for a project with this year's money and next year's money. I don't understand that. It seems okay to me because the work is being done on both sides, but their position was, no, you need to encumber the monies all at once. And so if we're to, let's say, throw the switch on this, it'd come out of this year's money, which, we got cash sitting there, but I'd rather push it to
Let's
next year.
just do what we wanna do, heck with them.
Okay, Mike, we'll let you deal with others. Anyway, discussion, please.
I think we need to move forth with it, but I think if we are looking at fines, I think we need to evaluate the options for turf too. And what possibilities may arise if we can get money donated and decide on an amount that maybe we could split with somebody, get part donated. I think we need to look at that possibility moving forth too.
I'm ready to tackle the track. I don't know about the other T word.
Seems like some of the professionals are going away from turf.
Yeah, they are. That's true. That's accurate.
Too many injuries.
The issue I have with the turf is that even if we got part of it donated, that has to be maintained. And so that's a big reoccurring expense. I would be interested in going ahead and looking at the track and probably doing the curb for the turf so that if at some point we could do the turf, it's there.
Yeah, I think there is some merit. I mean, I know we've looked at it and talked about, specifically on baseball. I mean, just the amount of effort and work that it takes to maintain the infield, that there is some merit to looking at turf infield and still keeping natural glass outfield. We've started down some of that path looking at it. I mean, there's a significant, there's a significant upkeep to a lot of the dirt work and things that has to be done to maintain. For turf purposes, I think baseball is what makes sense to me, specifically in the infield. The track is a must. I mean, I don't feel comfortable running on it. I don't walk on it, mainly because I don't run at all.
See, when did you run on that last night? I was out there too.
Some of those cracks may be from when I was running. I don't know.
And just so you have a perspective on this, the dollar wise, we're sitting on about 2.7 right now in capital outlay. The track is north of $1 million. Turf is north of $1 million. We also have HVAC projects. We also have roofs projects. I mean, it's really easy. Well, you got 2.7, do it. Well, that's fine until.
But I mean, I think we need to look at the savings of water though too. I mean, and maintenance at the time and the money our staff is putting into the maintenance of the current grass field right now, and how much time it takes to deal with that.
Yeah, it's not as significant as you think. I mean, the savings aren't significant.
So Ryan, when you replace the carpet 10 years down, what's the cost?
About $657.
657, okay. So if we're talking 1.6, let's call it 1.8. Well, that's not correct. Yeah, because then you do the math over 8 years' time.
Do about 1.2 to do the field.
And then, okay, the return on investment on that is a long time, you know, with water and hours. You know, and I don't know if you ever get to it, frankly.
You can buy a lot of grass seed and fertilizer.
You know,
And if you get 10 years and then you're 600 grand to resurface it, I mean, that's just.
And there's still a lot of prep
Keeps on giving.
I mean, there's prep that you do on the turf fields, and we do it twice a year there as far as going back in and inserting rubber, cleaning it. I mean, so you're hiring companies. So, I mean, there are some savings there with water and time, but it's not significant.
They just go out there with a big vacuum and clean it that way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they come back in and have it.
Put the rubber back in?
Mhm.
Probably fills in a lot with dirt around here.
Yeah, and they have big old bags that they haul off there with dirt.
well, the options on this, I mean, I brought you the track discussion for tonight. And if you want to continue talking about turf, that's fine. The option are do nothing. Just do a track or do a track with the curb. Since there does seem to be a little bit of, well, not really, some momentum behind the idea of turf, yeah, the prudent move would be to do the track with the curb. Because then that sets you up for success down the road, if the ball field ever comes to be. So, like I said, I'm not asking for action tonight, but I do want to know which way the wheat is waving, because I've got plenty of other lawns to mow.
Any idea what the curb would add, another 15, 20%?
Yeah. Another $100,000, $200,000.
Probably 10% more.
So,
Yeah, I'd suggest we go ahead and start the track process and with the curb.
I'll agree.
I would concur. Curtis?
Monster Man?
I don't have an opinion on it. I mean, I do, but I'm sure nobody wants to hear it, so.
I do.
I want to hear it.
So what I'll do is I'll start down the path of engaging with other companies, or multiple companies rather. Start homing in on what we're talking about, you know, what we're talking about dollar amount, and how long it would take to get it done. Because then that will, with the assumption that four hands go in the air, then we can lock that in and get going. So, good enough, Mr. Jones?
Good enough.
I think I know where my direction is.
All right, let's move to conflict of multiple representation waiver.
This is just a lawyer wanting to have fun. As you well know, we're working on this joint welding project with the Garden City Community College. Have a memorandum of understanding ready to roll. Send it to our lawyer. The lawyer says, "Whoa, non-fair, contraire non-fair. I can't do that unless you guys waive. You have to pass a memorandum, a waiver regarding their multiple representation." So finally, we got a letter written by the lawyer himself, basically saying that, yeah, we're cool, we're fine with this. We will conflict of multiple representation waiver. So I recommend that the board take action on this, and then everybody needs to sign it. Rob will have the sheet for everybody to sign. And then the next step would be we'd bring the memorandum back out, we'd send it, he'd take a look at it, the lawyer would take a look at it, he'd just shake my head as well, Ryan, and then we're moving. So I recommend the board approve of the waiver as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Casey and Curtis. It's been moved and seconded to approve the waiver as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, new business, establishing a daycare.
All righty, this is back on the top of my totem pole, if you will, trying to get down the path with this. Ultimately, it's important to say, it needs to be self-funding. It needs to be. And there's a price point on that. Later on, you'll understand why I say that, why it needs to be so self-funding. Read through the information enough now, and I've talked to multiple superintendents who have started daycares, okay? And what they all say is, in order to start the ball rolling down the hill, you have to go, an individual has to go through the orientation. Nothing happens until that occurs, okay? Amy doesn't want to do this, I don't think. I don't think you want to be, no. Maybe Monica wants it.
Maybe Mike.
Maybe Mike does. Looking for something to do. Basically, what the recommendation's been from superintendents to me is hire a daycare director. It takes 6 months of work to get it launched. So the idea would be if we were to say, yeah, we're going that way, and we're looking at a double wide. Double wides are priced at $140. We're trying to get the final written approval from the fire marshal, so we can get it from the KDHE because it's a game you have to play. Looking at the location over there outside of the bus barn where the old district office used to be, because we have infrastructure in place and parking and whatnot. But if we say, let's go, well, I've got problems hiring somebody who just has, because like I was talking to the superintendent from Satana, says it's not a full-time job in setting it up, but it is work. It's probably 10, 15 hours a week during the first 6, because it takes 6 months to get it set up. So the question is, what do we do for the rest of that time for that person? You know, because I don't want to bring somebody in and say, well, here's some paper clips, count them. We do have work, you know, like backing of secretaries. We have 2 secretaries, basically at Wiley. We have 2 at the high school. We've got 1 at the middle school, at Holcomb Elementary, and 1 at the middle school. So maybe, if we decide to go down this path, we bring the person in to be the daycare director, get it built, get that puppy built, and then when not doing that kind of work, go work as a backing secretary. You know, I mean, that works. That's not a bad idea. It's a good idea. But then after 6 months, he or she would no longer be doing that. You know, we'd just doing the daycare. So just information, but I don't know. How's that smell to you?
Not opposed.
I think I know it's a need. It's as far as and I would look to see it's for our staff, so it's for. There's 2 different, there's childcare centers and there's daycare centers. And what I've been told is do the daycare center, but doing a daycare center, you're limited to 12 kids. You do a childcare center, you can go higher. But then there's a whole lot of other details that come into play that in order to get that opened and keep it open. So we're talking about 12 people. I mean, right now, I don't know if we have 12 kids who would be in it, probably. You know, and this not only is a service for our people, it's a service for our classes, because there are times when a daycare calls our teachers and say, my kid's sick, I can't have your kids today. And so then that causes our teachers to stay home. You know, and we've looked at other options. You know, could they come in and be in the classroom while because their daycare got closed that particular day? Well, the first thing you got to look at on that is student safety. And it'd be nice if we're also teaching, right? And if I've got an infant, my own infant there, or 1-year-old or 2-year-old, it'd be awfully hard to focus. So we have in a real tough spot covered for an hour or 2 here or there. But if that's not a good long-term fit. So the point is, we end up missing teaching opportunities because either the kid is sick or the daycare is closed for the day or whatever. So this is a productive, proactive move if we can get it done.
12 kids gonna pay for self-funded?
Gotta do the math on it, Ryan, because what we need is a director, a worker, and a sub. And then food service would take care of the food, and that's perfectly fine. Utilities would be negligible, as far as that goes, electricity and water and sewage. It's all about what do you set the pay at.
Right.
And then start doing the math.
Would it be open all year, or would you have it?
The recommendation is all year. And now, I'm a teacher, and I've studied this enough. Most daycares anymore, even if you don't want to bring your kids in June and July, you're paying for your spot. And so the budgeting can be done. And by doing it that way, I mean, it's just individual parent has a choice to make. And say, I don't want to pay for June when I'm not going to bring the kid in. Well, then I'm sorry, your spot's not here anymore.
Well, some teachers still have a summer job, so
Oh,
it
right.
would still benefit them.
Right.
So are you looking at like a, trailer or
A double wide, yeah,
double wide?
yeah. Looking at, you guys remember originally we were going right across here.
Mhm.
That's where it was gonna be. And then, got frustrated working with them, and then COVID hit. So yeah, we're looking at a double wide. I mean, we could build something, bring in a Morton building, I guess, but I mean, it's just gonna cost more. There's really no good usable space in any of the 4 buildings.
Right. I went to kindergarten in a trailer house.
Did you?
So,
Once again, I'm not asking for a motion tonight, just letting you know the latest thoughts on how can we get this done. The only piece of it I don't like is having to bring somebody on for 6 months. And really, I mean, they're doing the job, they're setting up the daycare, they're doing all the paperwork and all that kind of good stuff. But they're not serving kids until we're ready to launch. And maybe even get it done in 4 months.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to donations to the district.
Once again, we are blessed by our patrons of our district. We have 3 different donations for the board to consider. We have, this is all around the project of expanding the batting cage area out by the baseball field. By doing this, it allows flexibility and more space to practice at all times. And then when the field is wet, it just allows more flexibility. So we have 3 different donations for you to consider. The concrete donation would pay for the slab, if you will. You've got the letters from the people making the donations. Oil casing pipe would be what the actual netting would be on, and then the netting, okay? And you see the values, concrete is $27,300, oil casing pipe $5,000, batting cage netting $9,848. You could do these individually, Mr. Jones, but I would recommend you do all 3 at once. And I recommend that the board accept the donations as presented. And by the way, I've got a meeting set up with Chad and the new baseball coach, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday morning.
I'll make the
move
motion. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'll make the motion to accept the 3 donations as presented.
Okay, Jill?
Second.
Ryan Ruda. It's been moved and seconded to accept the donations made to the district as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Authority to purchase a vehicle.
Yeah, talking with Sam, just always continually examining our fleet and saying, well, what do we need? What can we do? Make it more flexible, make it more useful. The idea is, latest one we came upon is the Suburban that I've been driving, put that back into the fleet because it transports more kids. The problem is we've lost vehicles through the years because we just really don't know when the good deals are going to come. And so oftentimes, and even though the dealership will say, well, other districts do this, they're breaking the law because without board approval, you can't do this. But we did one time, I brought you guys the idea of pre-approving up to X amount of dollars. So then if something does hit mid-cycle, I've got approval. And so then the auditors are okay with it and it's all legal. So that's what this is all about, just trying to get flexibility. So the Suburban to go back into Gen Pop, if you will, thus more easier to transport kids. And then ultimately, this car would be a backing car or used with the driver's ed as well. So a dual purpose vehicle. So what I'm asking for, and I just randomly picked a dollar amount, for authority from the board granted to the superintendent with the transportation director to make a purchase of a vehicle up to $40,000 between cycles. That's what I'm asking.
I'll make that motion.
Ryan Schreiber
Second.
and Jill. Been moved and seconded to give superintendent authority to purchase a single vehicle for the district not to exceed $40,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, disposal list.
This is the 13th time in my time, because in my 7th year, we do it twice a year, that I've brought forward a list of items to dispose of. But I will tell you, this list is shorter and shorter and shorter. We're almost there, baby. We're almost there. Back in the day, we have like 83 things on the list, and then another 83 the next time. No, not very much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things. But it's not legal for us to throw away a stick of gum if it's property or equipment. unless the board takes action on it. You know, we have a system we follow. If the board says yes tonight, which I hope you do, we'll put word out to the staff. Anybody has a use for these things professionally, come get it. That's how I picked up my frog in my tree in my office. And if that doesn't work, we give it to student organizations, give them a chance to sell things. So I recommend the board dispose of the provided list of items.
So moved.
Second.
Curtis and Jill. Been moved and seconded to dispose of the provided list of items. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? All right, executive session.
15 minutes.
All right, let's see. Let's go into executive session at 8:05 for 15 minutes.
10-minute break.
With Dr. Myers.
And principals as needed.
And principals as needed.
So moved.
Ryan, Rita, and Jill. Been moved and seconded to go into executive session at 8:05 for 15 minutes with Dr. Myers and principals as needed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Well, I was gonna say at 8:01, Casey was
7:58.
7:59 and 37. Okay, we're back in session. I need a motion to hire the supplementals as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Jill and Curtis, moved and seconded to hire the supplementals as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to hire Deb McVeigh as a Holcomb Elementary School para.
So moved.
Ryan Schreiber and Curtis. It's been moved and seconded to hire Deb as a Holcomb Elementary School para. Is there any further discussion?
I would just like it on the record that my vote will reflect what is best for students. And that's it.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
That is all, Mr. Jones.
I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Jill and Curtis. Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Back on this.